Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Avini Vibes. Tonight is March 20th, 2025. Ooh, today's annual tax day if you have sales tax. Yikes. I don't know if anybody has a business that you have to do that, but it's no fun. For New York State, I spend about 2 hours, nothing to do with this business, but just trying to log in. So a little stressful there, but that's what I love about the Avini. I don't have to worry about that in that business. But I want to welcome you tonight. Welcome guests. Do we have any guests here tonight? If you do, just give us a hands up. And I see some familiar faces. My name is Christine Rolando with co-host Kara Witt, always there to help. Dr. Nikita's in the house. And of course, we have Chip Littlejohn with us, always on our scientific advisory board to help answer your questions. We're here to educate one another, to learn from one another. We're really blessed to have these amazing products and this great company that we're all a part of. Or if you're just looking at it for the first time, you're going to be blown away. Remember, we do not make any medical claims and we don't diagnose or treat. I'd ask you if you would just mute. And then when you have a question later on, just raise your hand and we're going to get to you. Tonight, we are so blessed. I want to be quiet and just let our special guests, who many of you know and love, we have Doug Dickey with us. Oh, former VP, but co-founder of Avini Health. And before Doug comes on, I just want to read something. You know, Doug is a really amazing man. He's the former VP of sales, started with Avini, brought this company along with his other two partners and all of you. But for more than 2 decades of experience in fertilizer and plant nutrition industry, Doug has made a name for himself as a seasoned CEO and CFO. He has a proven track record in innovation. He's developed a variety of cutting-edge products and processes where not only are effective, but guess what we all love, environmentally friendly. And, you know, in addition to his work in the fertilizing industry, Doug has made a significant contribution to winery, dairy, wastewater, and algae remediation sector. You know, Doug has also been involved in other companies in MLM, and guess what? He rose right to the top and he knows what he's doing. So without further ado, let's put our hands together and welcome Doug Dickey. Thank you, Doug, for being here all the way from Salt Lake City.
Thank you. I love that that introduction. It's the nicest thing I've heard about myself so far. So yeah, I wanted to do a little presentation for those that may be hearing it more than once. Maybe you'll grab something out of this presentation. And kind of full disclosure, I am one of the co-founders that started Avini. Against all odds, we got the company up and going, and kind of the goal was the 1.1 million a month area, and so we surpassed that. So I stepped down as VP of Sales, and Mickey Dillon has replaced my position, and now I have become a distributor like all of you. So I purchased a position under Paul Stowers, somebody that wasn't doing anything. They were nice enough to give me their downline, and so I'm building just like you guys. So I'm excited to be out in the field. I feel like I'm home, and I can go on vacation anytime I want. I have total freedom now that I didn't have before. So this is so it's great to see all of you. I know many of you. And I'm going to share my screen and we'll just go through. Let me see if I can do it this way. There we go. And so I'm going to go through very quickly my Avini Health opportunity. And I want you to, if you have questions, save them till the end. We'll have a little bit of question and answer time. So I expect to go through this very quick. So to get started with, we think about what we do, the necessities of life. We want to drink clean water, we want to breathe clean air, and of course eat clean food. Unfortunately, those three things don't happen. Things that we do that we have to do, like eating food, you have a broad range of toxins that are in the food. And let me give you some examples. Arsenic has between 70 and 80 parts per billion of arsenic. And chicken is treated with between 3 and 4 antibiotics that are loaded with arsenic and cadmium. They add to fertilizers electrolytes called lead, cadmium, arsenic, tin to make them stronger electrolyte based fertilizers. And of course, the amount that we're consuming on a day to day basis is not that much. But over 10, 20, 30 years of life and bioaccumulating these toxins, it can add up, and it does add up. And some people are able to eliminate a small percentage of that more than others. And so there's such huge variables because of this. So we can filter our air and our water, but we cannot filter the food. We are the food filter. And unfortunately, your liver, which is essentially your filter, cannot be replaced very easily. There are liver transplants, and there's interesting things that happen when people get a liver transplant, but I don't recommend it. Keeping the one that we have is typically the best. So we're going to discuss some options here. When we consume these foods, we are we're bioaccumulating these toxins, and we may get sick. We may have some illness come, some earlier than others. And let's say you do get sick. What's your options? Healthcare for the average person, completely unaffordable. My wife was looking for some healthcare for the family, and she was like, if we just saved up 2 or 3 years worth of the payments on healthcare, we could buy another home. It was so much money on a monthly basis. And what do you get if you go through the medical system? It's completely focused on surgery and prescriptions. Affordable insurance available to only a few people. And many, many people recognize that there's really no expectation you're going to get better if you go to the doctor and you get on the pills and you do the surgeries. And so they're looking for alternative or functional medicine providers to help. So there's a very big curve that's going from the regular medical over to the alternative side of it. So the awareness of environmental toxins and heavy metals is greater than it's ever been. What I found interesting is going back to 1982, NIH states that 5 heavy metals, mercury, lead, arsenic, cadmium, and chromium, were responsible for as much as 92 to 96% of the reasons you go to the hospital. Now, if you get hit by a truck, that's a different kind of heavy metal. But these small atom-sized particles make their way into your body, and your body accumulates them. Can't get rid of them. And I'll touch on that. Where do they mainly come from? There's 70,000 known chemicals, toxins, and heavy metals. 2,000 have been tested by the EPA, by industry. The others have not. Agricultural farm practices, probably the number one. Every fungicide, every insecticide, every herbicide, all of the fertilizers, and even organic. For those that eat organic, 3 times the metals. And people say, well, why would that be? Organic, they don't use any of these chemicals. Yes, they do. They simply write it down. They're just simply registered as organic. And organic, they're using manure. So if you're using manure as the fertilizer, how did you get the manure? Did the cow eat organic hay or did the cow eat regular fertilized hay? Pass those metals through into the manure and it gets on the plants. It's highly available, so you get 3 times the metals, 3 times the nutrition, but 3 times the metals into the plants. And those photosynthetic leaves, they're the worst. They have more metals in them than, let's say, the head of lettuce that's doesn't really have any nutrition in it. Contaminated air, contaminated water, household chemicals, exhaust. A big diesel truck comes by in a big black cloud of exhaust, and you're breathing that in, and your body is storing it. So everyone, no matter who you are, how clean you drink, eat, or breathe, you're accumulating small, safe amounts. Like Rik says, I guess it was Dr. Stuart Longkey that says, it's a safe amount, but the amount should be zero. So it doesn't matter what safe is because you're accumulating over time. So these safe amounts of heavy metals, chemicals, and toxins that you capture through your daily life, and this idea that, oh, I took a nature sunshine detox, so my body's gotten rid of all the toxins and metals. That's just not true. The idea that our liver, when we take cilantro or spinach, we detox, well, we're detoxing at a cellular level, which dumps these toxins back into the bloodstream. They go to the liver, and it's expected that the liver is going to get rid of these toxins. It doesn't. It resequesters them in the body. So this false belief that our bodies are clean itself is just not true. That if we eat a healthy diet, our bodies will fix itself. More nutrition does not remove toxins. There's no mechanism for that. It requires the liver. And I'll touch on that with one of our new products here in a little bit. These toxins build up over years of bioaccumulation. Now, what's really interesting is, let's say you get to 50 years old and you've built a little bit of a belly and you got extra fat. Let's say you got 25 pounds or 30 pounds of fat on you. And you say, oh my gosh, I'm going to go on a diet. And you do a keto diet or something that's very successful. And you burn through 25 or 30 pounds of fat. Most people would say that's a fantastic thing. You got rid of all that fat. Where did all the metals, chemicals, and toxins that were stored in that fat go? Basically goes back to your liver. It is an acute poisoning. And so this is why our products are so important that I'll touch on. Of course, toxins known to cause numerous types of cellular disease, protein dysfunction, metabolism dysfunction, endocrine system dysfunction. Everything is linked to chronic disease. It's either makes the disease or it makes it worse, including autoimmunes, all tied to heavy metals, chemicals, and toxins. Research has shown that the only way to remove these toxins is by using a special systemic binder, something that grabs it within the blood and lymphatic system after it's already passed your filter, binds it up, and then the body gets rid of that. That's why there's only really a couple options, and we, of course, have the best option. Chelation therapy is the other option. The problem is it removes even amounts of good, healthy metals as well as bad metals, where ours simply removes only the bad metals. So, again, a wonderful ability that we have. And just to look at this, heavy metals like mercury, lead, arsenic, cadmium, chromium, they bind to the enzymes. So they stop regular cellular function, they disrupt normal cell metabolism, and they cause many issues. There's acute, which is falling into a vat of something, or there's chronic, which is small amounts like in your food, day after day, over a lifetime. Not knowing, being healthy until the doctor tells you you're not. Thinking that you're healthy until the doctor tells you you're not. And severe, simply 10 years of chronic exposure or more. So this is really important to know that no matter how great you feel now, there will become a point where it affects your body and sends you to the doctor where they will give you some pill or surgery or whatever to try to deal with these. And in no case in medicine are they trying to remove the offending toxin. Never at all. They're simply trying to turn off the symptoms. So PFAS, another one of these chemicals we talk about, flame retardants, nonstick cookware, nail polish, lots and lots. This is where all these chemicals come from. Volatile organic compounds. If you've ever smelled plastic burning, or you something gets real hot, like a popcorn bag, those are volatile organic compounds. And they go into your body. They look a lot like your own compounds, and they cause issues. And then, of course, microplastics. This is the newest darling that's out there where people understand we are consuming a lot of these little particles of plastic and they cannot be removed by body functions. The only way to remove them, the metabolites that are in them, is through our product. So very, very important. This is Rik Deitsch, our biochemist, absolutely brilliant, savant. He was looking for a way to remove chemotherapy and knew that we needed something that would go into the bloodstream that the body recognizes, has the frequency that the body recognizes, and would leave the body quickly. Well, there's such a mineral, and it's called clinoptilolite. And he found that in nature, this mineral made by volcanoes um, has like a little honeycomb structure. It's very, very small. It's full of water, and it's attracted to heavy metals and also dioxins and other chemicals. And as they attract, they go inside. Well, the problem is it's too big and not available because it can't be absorbed in. It's also full of millions of years worth of toxins. And so he, over 7 years' time, spent a lot of money to research and invent ways to micronize these little particles to half a micron, small enough to be absorbed, not too small to interact with the healthy cells. And when he made this, he also cleans it out and then activates it. So that way it won't grab calcium or magnesium or anything else. It only grabs the healthy metals. And so he is the category creator of liquid suspended zeolite oral supplements. Zeolites have been used, specifically clinoptilolite, for over 800 years. And it basically cleans out your gut of toxins. But we needed to get it in the bloodstream and the lymphatic system. And so he invented processes to do that. It's been available since 2003. Cell Defender is the only liquid suspended zeolite, even though there's about 50 knockoffs out there where they go, oh, ours is just as good as theirs. They have not gone through the time and effort to make it safe to go in the bloodstream. They haven't standardized it to be used for this process. So this proprietary 34-step process where they micronize it, clean it, and activate it is absolutely amazing. And then, of course, we have 6 published clinical studies. There's several other studies, but we have 6 that are published in clinical, proving that it's safe and effective for long-term use, safe for babies and moms and everybody. So being able to remove toxins that have already gotten past your filter is a wonderful thing. So Cell Defender is what we're talking about. We absolutely love this product. This product has helped so many people be able to remove these toxins, help their bodies heal itself. This product itself can't heal anything. All it does is goes into the bloodstream. I'll show you. Oh, I left it downstairs. When you take the drops, it absorbs immediately, goes into your bloodstream lymphatic system, and it flows around for 4 to 6 hours, grabbing just heavy metals and toxins. When it gets full electrically, meaning it gets to a balanced electrical charge, the body gets rid of it. It doesn't require the liver to transform it. It doesn't require the kidneys to do anything special. It just leaves through the urine with the metals and toxins inside. That's what makes this so amazing. And we have a video that describes Rik Deitsch talks about how he came up with the idea, what it took to make it, how it works, all of that. This is available. The person that invited you will be able to send you this video or any one of several others that explains why the Cell Defender works, how it works, and about its safety. Wonderful 5-minute video, but I wanted to just present that for tonight. Christina, did you want to stop there, ask any questions before I go through the products, or would you like me to continue on?
Why don't you go ahead and continue on?
Okay. So we have several products. I'll go through them fairly quickly. Cell Defender, of course, removes heavy metals, toxins. It is our most important product. Everybody, no matter what, should be on Cell Defender. 10 drops twice a day is what all the studies were done on. And 10 drops twice a day is very effective at removing the toxins that you're taking in each day and getting them out of your system. Up to 15 times what your body could naturally do as far as excreting these toxins. Zimmunity mushrooms are amazing. It's 7 medicinal mushrooms that have been grown in a special way to concentrate a specific chemical called 1316 beta glucan. These beta glucans help regulate or modulate the hyperimmune system. So your body has a hyperimmune system that may cause anxiety and stress. It gets upset when you find out your boyfriend has broke up with you and you get real sick feeling, your stomach tightens. This is the hyperimmune response, or somebody passes away and it affects you physically. It also is the number one cause of autoimmunes, this reactionary system that is built in and automatic. If you can turn that down or even turn it off, your body can detox at a much faster rate. There's no detox effect. There is no Herxheimer. This is an amazing product. It's also very beneficial to protect your body against carcinogenic things. Very, very good product. Easy for anybody to take. I know people that pull apart the little capsule and put it in applesauce for their little children. It's absolutely wonderful product. One of my favorite. I do not start somebody on Cell Defender without starting them on Zimmunity, at least 2 pills a day. And then our Nano Silver. This is an absolutely incredible product. Again, we have parasites, viruses, bad bacteria that travel through our body, molds and mildew. They all have the common effect that they are trying to harm the body, right? They live in a parasitic way. And so this nano silver is 7 to 10 nanometer spheres. There's just under 1 trillion of them per drop. And when it goes into your body, these little particles will attach to glycoprotein receptors for viruses, stopping the virus's ability to move through the body and infect other cells. It'll bother and kill off parasites. And parasites, of course, live where there's heavy metals. They are consumers of heavy metals. And so it helps remove those things that are living that are trying to harm you, where the cell defenders removing those things that are trying to harm you that aren't living. So we have both there as a 1-2 punch to help the body get better. And this is the safest silver on the market. It resonates at the same as your body, so it doesn't go into healthy cells. It doesn't kill off your healthy bacteria, and it leaves the body very quickly within 24 hours. And it's removed not through the urine, but through the bowels. The liver actually removes this silver and sends it out through the bowels. So it has a secondary benefit as it travels through your intestinal tract. Again, shutting down only the bad stuff and not harming the good stuff. Really, really important. And we have it in a gel form for topical use. Some people brush their teeth with it, but it's great topically. Anybody get a burn? You put the gel on twice and the burn just sort of goes away. It's the most amazing thing. I don't know how that works, but it's pretty amazing. And then the next most important thing, and these all come in a bundle, the first really 4 products, the Cell Defender, the Zimmunity, the Silver, and the Avini Fiber. This is one of the most important products. And for those that know about our new Balance product, which I'll talk about in a few minutes, the Balance product helps get your liver to remove more toxins. But the liver removes the toxins by attaching them to the bile and sending them out into the intestinal tract. If you don't have 15 to 20 grams of fiber to grab that bile, bond onto it, and hold it until it removes out through the rectum, the bile will be reabsorbed with the toxins attached. So the important thing is that you have the fiber or any one of 4 or 5 other binders, activated charcoal, bentonite, any of the others. This is the best one to attach to these toxins on the bile and then remove them all the way through your intestinal tract and out the rear end. Eliminating these toxins that the liver spent a bunch of time transforming, turning into a form that it could send out. So very, very powerful. There's over 200 studies on the ingredients of this product. Absolutely incredible. Bifidobacteria, only 3 weeks of use taking this product, 18 weeks of continued growth of bifidobacteria in the intestinal tract. One of the studies. Another study showed 3 weeks of use increased the butyric acid or butyrate concentration up to 8 times for 30 weeks. So only 3 weeks of work of using the product continue to have benefits. Huge, huge results. I'm actually putting together a paper just on the Avini fiber and the ingredients. Like Chip said earlier, Rik is a purist. He will never use anything unnatural. He uses the highest quality possible of every product. In the very beginning, when we were discussing one of Rik's conditions for starting with the company for doing this was, I want to make the product I want to make. Nobody's going to tell me what I have to cut out of it, and you guys are going to figure out how to pay for it. And so he has done that all along. I asked him one day, I said, if I give you $1 million, what product can you improve? And he said, none of them. They are the best I can make them now. And I love that because he gets to exercise his brain muscles and really make a product that's going to make the most difference for everybody. Money never comes into the thought. It's all about getting the appropriate thing. So anytime somebody asks you a question, even on the plus relief, which I'll talk about, he has to use a little bit of polyethylene glycol. And he could use up to 5 milligrams of it, but he uses 0.01, the smallest that the label will allow him, because he has to, of course, use a preservative. And with homeopathy, you have to have a minimum of something, or a maximum of something. And so he puts the absolute smallest amount because, of course, it's not the best ingredient. So he's really conscious of that. I love the fact that he cares so much about those that are going to be taking the product, that they get the very best result. We have Avini Plus Hydration. This is an amazing product. He had made this 25 years ago, named it Low Oz because it has a low osmolality. It's when you take this product, it goes directly into your body and into the muscle tissue. It hydrates your kidneys and your lungs first. It goes directly into the muscles, hydrates them. And so you can control your hydration by getting it directly into the muscle tissue right away. It says on the package 28 grams of sugar. It does not have 28 grams of sugar. There's a small amount of fructose, which only gets respirated by the liver. The liver transforms it into glycogen, which is muscle sugar. It's necessary for hydration. And then the rest is 2 forms of really high quality maltodextrins. Now, of course, maltodextrin is a bad word, and for 50 out of 60 of them, it's true. Most maltodextrins are harmful to your body because they're poor quality. But there are 2, the highest quality maltodextrins that are digestion resistant. And what a maltodextrin is, they take a starch, they raise the temperature, and then they oxygenate it so it can't turn into sugar. It's a fiber in its activity because it's digestion resistant. Absolutely incredible. Hydrates the body. Almost no glycemic increase, 0.01 glycemic boost. So next to nothing. And even though your body sees it as a sugar, it can't break it down. The enzymes are not there to make it break down. So amazing product. Take it once, twice, three times a day. But the more you take it, the more exercise is required. Phenomenal product. Plus Relief that I was just talking about, where Rik had Rik owns 47 patents on the working component in this product. It uses a uh, Thailand cobra, Asian cobra venom. We denature the venom so it's not harmful. And then we use peptide that is in it to turn off pain and inflammation in the body. I was just in with a dentist about 3 hours ago, and I had used it on my face. I used it in my mouth for the last 2 days. And he was surprised that he only had to give me a small amount of Novocaine. And I was able to do the two um, caps today in less than 3 hours, and I'm not all swollen up. Amazing, amazing. The dentist is excited about the pain relief ability and inflammation ability of this. This again is a product that nobody has. Homeopathic drug, so we can make claims on its ability to stop pain and inflammation. Unlike the other products, which are not homeopathic drugs, and you cannot make any claims on the others. We have a product called Trim Science. This is another amazing technology. Rik has a couple hundred of them. Right now, we only have about 12 products of his technologies. Trim Science helps turn off the epigenetic triggers from toxins that have been stored in your body or passed on through years of generations, that these toxins get passed on through the DNA by taking chocolate, coffee, matcha tea, or lemonade. We have 4 different flavors. Drinking it a couple times a day, it blocks the mechanisms that want to put more fat on your body. So it's meant to take a couple times a day. You enjoy a nice, fresh, refreshing hot chocolate or coffee or lemonade or matcha, and it helps block fat, block carb conversion, increase burning, and it's good for you. So it's sort of an energy benefit. And most of these products, Plus Relief and the Silver, the two separate, that we have the zeolite in a larger form to go through and clean your gut. Those are also in the products. We have a product called Plus Energy. This is an incredible, it's a shot, 2-ounce shot that you can drink as a pre-workout. It has something called ADX7, an adaptogenic blend of 7 cofactors, invented by Russian scientists back in the 80s. You might remember in the 90s, there were some the Russians had moved ahead of the US in gold medals, and the US was really upset about it. And so they tracked down what it was. It was ADX7. They were giving this to their Olympians, and they were outperforming 100% increase in focus, 100% in stamina, and 100% in energy. So very, very beneficial, raises resistance to physical, chemical, and biological stresses, boosts recovery, and I go through about 30 of these a month. Amazing product. And it's fairly inexpensive, about $5 a piece. So wonderful. We have also Cell Defender and Plus Relief for pets, cats and dogs. You basically put a small amount on a treat and give it to them. You can put it in their food. It's a gel form. It's hypoallergenic, so it's beneficial for them. And we love our furry babies. We want to keep them healthy. And so that's what these are for. And then we have Cardio Care Plus Cardio Care, which helps the entire cardiovascular system replace itself. So your body, for instance, replaces the cells over time. So essentially, over so many years, you're a completely new person. In the beginning, about 6 weeks, your body replaces about 40% of your system, your platelets, your plasma, your cytochrome, enzymes, fluids, and your intestinal tract for the most part. So 6 weeks is about 40%. 6 months is another 10%. It could take 2 to 3 years to replace the cardiovascular system. So if you have some scar tissue, you have some challenges, the body can replace that, but it kind of chooses not to. It takes much longer. Consuming the Plus Cardio Care, 3 pills a day, helps the body, helps the rhythm of the heart, helps replace every one of those cells in your entire cardiovascular system from the very smallest capillary all the way up to the functioning heart. Really, really important components in there to improve the time frame to replace the heart with brand new cells, brand new DNA-based cells. Plus Mind and Vision helps increase alertness, mental clarity, memory retention, helps with eyesight, visual acuity. That's the biggest thing. I know a lot of people that can't drive at night because the reflections, and if it's raining, there's no way, who are now able to drive at night because their eyes are able to see in the dark much better. Incredible product. Again, some of the ingredients you can get other places, but not the host of everything that's in here. By the way, we don't have any fillers in any of our products. Every product is 100% active product. That's 10 times anything you buy online. So it's really, really powerful. There's no contraindications with any of our products and any medicine on the market anywhere, with the exception of the Cell Defender and platinum chemotherapy. You have to wait a couple days and then you can start on the Cell Defender. But other than that, there's no contraindications at all. And then the 2 new products, we have a meal replacement that's tied to the trim science. By the way, I raise the hands. Who loves the flavor of this? It is chocolate. Some people don't like chocolate, and they can move to Europe or wherever. But the chocolate is amazing. My best friend is chocolate, and so I'm having it too often that I'm thinking I really would like to eat a meal. So it's absolutely delicious. I was mixing a chocolate trim science in with my fiber, and now I'm mixing this in also. So it's really beneficial. Again, this technology, the high quality performance of Rik's inventions in a meal replacement. And that's going to be it's what was needed to go along with the Trim Science program. And then we have a product called Plus Balance. And this is the last one that's come out. And Plus Balance essentially helps many of the factors that are tied to your liver. Your liver is not only filtering out toxins, which is like the last thing it does, it manages blood sugar, not your pancreas. There it is. The Plus Balance, the liver, its number one need is to balance out proteins. Old proteins come back. They don't live very long. Proteins are very short-lived. And so as they break down, the liver takes them, makes them healthy again, sends them back to where they need to go, or does whatever in managing the proteins. Next, it handles sugar, tells the pancreas through enzymes and hormones, hey, I need more insulin. No, I need less insulin. And so it's constantly communicating through hormones and enzymes to all the other endocrine glands. And it does over 500 things. So one of the problems is there are mechanisms, sort of a yin and yang mechanism. And the liver has this process where it can separate a toxin and attach it to turn it to be water soluble so the body can just get rid of it. But there's also an enzyme that gets produced at the same time that can stop that mechanism. So the liver can do both. What happens is the liver ends up doing about 3 times the work for a third the benefit. So the Plus Balance helps the body block this enzyme process, allowing it to remove carcinogenic toxins at a much faster rate. So that combined with you taking the fiber 15 minutes before a meal, 15 minutes before the fat that you're going to eat that pushes out the bile, your body can get rid of more of these toxins, which then opens up your lymphatic and hepatic system and allows your body to keep those things flowing out. when Rik at the convention was talking about the incredible technology of his favorite pathway, um, afterwards he said it's important that we have the fiber. We need the fiber to grab that bile, lock it in, and take it out through the back end. Otherwise, it'll just be reabsorbed because your body reabsorbs the bile. It's very efficient. And so that's really, really important for that aspect. And so we have these incredible products. We have over 1,700 testimonials of people having incredible experiences in less than 3 years with this. And you can go to avinitestimonials.com and click on them and indexed by name. We, of course, don't use any medical terms or medical names. We don't make any medical claims. Therefore, we call it things like the shaky hand issue. So you'll figure your way through it, but watch any 10 videos. I've taken people and said, just watch any 10 videos. And if you're not absolutely impressed just by watching the videos, even before you learn anything else, then there's no pulse there. The changes in people's lives are incredible, and people want to share. These are just the 1,700 that wanted to share. There's thousands more that have had life-changing experiences. And so we have that. And of course, we have founded May 21st of 22. We're 3 years old. We've been debt-free since month one, which is really, it was really important to Neil and myself. And things to consider. Our mission statement is to get products to people, to get them there quickly. How can you say it's life-sustaining and life-changing if you don't get products there quickly? And then third, to go through a set of highly motivated distributors. The way that these products need to be shared is heart to heart, face to face, eye to eye. And so there's 11 points I want you to consider. 3 years old with consistent growth, debt-free since our first month, less than 15,000 distributors in USA and Canada, and we just opened the UK, which is exciting. More than 10,000 retail customers. That is incredible. 11 health improving detox products, it's actually 12 now. Access to exclusive technologies. Nobody else has these. Rik has invented over 200 nutritional products, and they are exclusive to him, which is so wonderful that he is owner of this company. Inventor, biochemist, owner of these products in the company, so he's not going anywhere. We keep him tight in a cage in Florida. He can't leave. Even if he wanted to leave, he can't leave. We're vertically integrated from the rawest, purest US-based ingredient all the way out the door, shipped UPS or USPS. So we control all of that. We have no excuses. That is an absolutely thing. It usually takes 10 years for a company to get to vertically integrated, even if they make their own products, period. Most of them have somebody else do it. So you're paying more money to get a product because there's multiple people in charge. There's 30% markups everywhere. No obligation opportunity. This is something that I fought for. I wanted people to be able to just get in and use the products and not tell anybody if they don't want. We have that. No cost to the back office, the website, or our high quality app. There's no cost to that. Neil was very, very sure we are not going to charge people for anything but the product. And so we have this incredible opportunity that allows people to share, to use their influence to share with other people and make a consistent leveraged income, get paid from helping people who help people who help people. And of course, in the picture here, Neil Roth, our CEO, brilliant mind, run billion-dollar companies before, Rik Deitsch, our chief scientific officer. And of course, Mickey Dillon, I don't have a picture of him in here yet, but he's run for 30 years. He's run this kind of business. So a really amazing opportunity. We're located in Boca Raton is where our products are made. And essentially 3 things. More information. Do you want more information? Get with back with the person that shared. Become a retail customer. Try the products. You get a 30-day money back guarantee. There's no risk. For instance, Cell Defender $69. or become a wholesale distributor slash wholesale buyer. You don't have to do anything, no obligations. You get the best price and you can sit and do nothing for a year. So that's the wonderful thing. That's what we have with Avini. And the price, of course, goes from 69 to 55. So anybody have any questions? I'm going to pause my share here.
Doug, thank you. Thank you so much. That was an amazing presentation. And I want to let you know you hit a record number for Avini Vibes, 51 people.
Right.
Right. So, and it just gets bigger and better, and more people are more testimonials. You said there's 1,500, but there's way more than that. Those are only the ones that are recorded. But let's take a moment. If you have a question, you want to raise your hand and unmute yourself, and we'll go ahead and take some questions for Doug. So we got a few more minutes, so please, Marlena, go ahead. You have a question? And
Hi.
remember, please, no medical terms, okay?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that talk. It was very informative and very enlightening and inspiring. I have a question, a couple of questions. I'm told that I have a sensitivity to chocolate. Now, if I take products that have chocolate, is that going to be more harmful than beneficial?
A very good question. Oftentimes, the allergies are always tied to protein in it. I don't know if our chocolate has that. It might be something you just try it a little bit and see for yourself. Um, but I wouldn't have the answer to that question. You might just have to try it. Some people just don't tolerate chocolate, which is sad.
Yeah.
I love chocolate.
Okay. All right. Thank you. The other question
Marlena,
I
I'll give you a
have.
sample this week, okay?
There you
Oh,
go.
well, thank you. Thank you.
You have
You've
another
been very,
question, Marlena, you said?
yes, yes. Thank you. Um, I was reading about colloidal silver
Mhm.
and the different aspects of them and the nano particle uh, thing that makes it either good or not good or poor quality. And there is a lot of controversy on the internet that I read that colloidal silver can be harmful to brain functions or brain tumors, or if people have brain cancer, does it help them or does it hurt them? What's your take on that? I know you're not a doctor and you can't give out medical information.
Yeah, so I found this silver and brought it to the company. And what impressed me so much was the understanding of the silver particle. So lots and lots of companies can make nanoparticle silver. It's fairly easy. They can even make it spherical. They can make it certain size. The problem is the silver ions don't want to play along. So it might be the perfect size, anywhere from 5 to 20 nanometers and spherical is safe for the human body. Larger than 20, and it can agglomerate. It can continue growing, attaching to other silver particles until it gets too big and turns your skin blue. Or it can have ions jump off until it gets to completely ionic, and then it kills off healthy cells at the same rate it kills off everything else. The most effective nano silver for killing things is ionic. And there's lots of ionic silvers out there. Problem is, it's also killing your healthy cells, just like cadmium and mercury and lead and everything else. So you wouldn't necessarily know it, but it's killing millions of cells every time you take it. So the key is to stabilize it. And a lot of companies will use capping agents. If their silver product is going to be impregnated in wool, so there's no mildew that grows, or it's put in gloves or in a paint, so it treats it so that way the silver is protective, then it doesn't matter the capping agent because you're not consuming it. But a lot of these companies will buy somebody else's silver that's supposed to be impregnated in gloves, and they're selling it to people to drink. And they just don't know any better. They go, oh, silver's safe. Well, it's not. Silver is a heavy metal. Only when it's to that size between 5 nanometers and about 20 nanometers is it resonate something called a membrane bending energy that's equal to your body. So it doesn't affect your body. It won't even go through a healthy cell. It won't even interact with a healthy cell. And it also won't interact with healthy bacteria, probiotics, because your body covers the probiotics in a mucilage that resonates at the same as your body. So your body's not constantly fighting the healthy bacteria. But non-healthy bacteria resonates at a different frequency. The body doesn't protect it. And so the nano silver goes in, unzips the bacteria, and all the guts spill out. And so it is protecting your body against things that your body's not protecting. And that's a really powerful tool. And it's stabilized. There's three main stabilizations. There's capping agents, which is typically PEG, which is polyethylene glycol, or a polyol, or bromine or bromide. All these things are toxic to your healthy cells. So they'll treat it with that as they break apart or as they interact. The toxin harms your body. The second way is using something called zeta potential, which I call a hope and a prayer. It's basically silver that has an electrical static charge, and it stays connected in the right size until something interacts, like sunlight or temperature or shaking it. When something interacts, it starts to break down. And you'll see it at the bottom of the bottle, little particles that have fallen out of suspension. This one is treated with a frequency while it's being made. And so it attaches the silver to an actual electron on the water, on the oxygen in the water. So it's bound. You could freeze it and you could boil it and it'll still stay attached. The silver is absolutely stable, and therefore it leaves the body within 24 hours. Starts leaving the body within about 6 hours, and it leaves within 24 hours. And it goes out through your liver, into your colon, and can be tracked through your poop. And they know it all leaves because they've measured the amount they put in a study, and then it went through the body, and they measured the amount that came out and where it came out, and they noticed none of it was sweat out, none of it came out through the urine, it all came out through the poo. And so they know the exact mechanisms of how it works. Absolutely safe. You could drink 55 gallons of this a day before the silver would be too much, but your pocketbook would be empty by that point. And you couldn't drink more than 2 gallons of fluid anyways. But it's super safe and it's highly effective. We have, 150 testimonials in the last year and a half, 2 years on this product. So it's the best. It's not the best silver. It's the best silver under $3,000 an ounce. There's a couple that are better, but $3,000 an ounce is a little bit out of my price range.
Thank you, Doug.
very much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amy, you have your hand up. We have a question. Go ahead. Where'd she go? Amy?
Yeah, sorry, I had to try to unmute myself. Okay. Yes, I have two questions. One is, can you explain a little bit more about the chocolate meal replacement? Because I'm really looking forward to that, to getting some. Like as far as the protein or the there's detoxylate, I don't
Yeah.
yeah, and when it's going to be available.
Yeah, they're making them. I think this week they were making them, so hopefully it's available over the weekend.
Okay.
I know they sold out at the show, which was great because I bought like 6 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So it has a vegan protein that comes from soy. It's really powerful. A lot of people are against soy, but they're really against what soy represents and the fact that GMO, almost all of the soy out there is GMO. This one is not.
Mm-hmm.
This one has been processed in a way that's very, very healthy by a company that used to do research. They were involved in doing research on foods and how the foods interact with your body and the immune system. And they became so good at it, they bought the farms that grow this stuff. So it's the highest quality, purest material, and they've done tons and tons of studies on it. And so we have that in the replacement. The cool thing about is Rik thinks through every aspect of things. He started on this almost 4 months ahead, trying to figure out the exact ratios and he reads through all the studies and he makes sure that what's in the meal replacement is equal to what the studies would be. That's why in some of these things you get these big scoops. You go, oh my gosh. Well, it's because it needs that. And the trim science, you have different size scoops for each product. You go, oh, it'd be so expensive to have four different size scoops, but it's important because the amount matters based on the studies. So when you take it, it's going to be the best possible product you can take simply because it's Rik. And I'm
Okay.
not joking. I'm serious. It is by far the best because Rik made it. Yeah.
Okay. And I have another quick question, hopefully. If somebody has, I know the mold, if somebody has mold that they're breathing in that's on their walls in their bathroom because of a leak,
Yeah.
and there might be, might cost, real lot of money to do mold remediation.
Yeah.
Um,
Spray the
is that
silver on it.
something that you could spray silver on?
Yeah, lots of people do that. Yep.
And does it come back? Is it help the root cause, or
Well, you got to
like,
dry it out. Mold will always come back if you don't dry it out. So you got to
so you
stop
just
the
have to
leak.
initially dry it, the initial root cause of it?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then dry it out. Yeah. But
Okay.
we've actually used the silver, spraying it on the black on sheetrock, and you just see it runs down. Wipe
Uh,
it up. You can spray it again. The silver is amazing.
yeah. Okay. Thank you.
By the way, there's a horse. Is Sherry on? No, there's a horse that I saw in Hermiston had this problem with its eye. It's all glossed over, yellow, really awful. They had tried all kinds of nutritional things for it. Sprayed the silver on it and a few drops of cell defender, and overnight, new blood vessels into the eye. I mean, it's healing up super fast. This is for a horse, so
I have a horse right now with something up inside its nasal area. So we've been spraying the silver, and the horse is on the cell defender. And she called me today and she said she can't believe the difference.
yeah, yeah. The body, it just helps the body heal. It protects the body against things that want to harm it.
Any
Any
other questions? Let's see if there's any other questions. We got a big screen here, so I don't see any other hands raised right now. Anybody else have a question? Doug, you did,
Christine,
Doug, you did such a good job. You answered every question. There's a question here about sleeping, though. Which product may be best for sleeping if someone's struggling with sleep issues?
uh,
Tanya, I'll be with you just after he answers that sleep question, okay?
Cell Defender by far is the most important product. I talk to people, they go, oh, I'm just on the trim science. I go, get on the Cell Defender. Removing these heavy metals and toxins is the root cause to fix your body. Your body will fix itself if you remove the toxins, metals, and chemicals that are stopping your body from fixing itself. So Cell Defender by far, and all the other products are there to support the Cell Defender's effect, to make it so you can detox faster than normal without feeling sick, to hydrate your body, to calm your liver down, to shut down the hyperimmune switch. All of these things are to help the Cell Defender remove more toxins from your body faster.
yes, that was my
I have a
question actually
question.
about the insomnia, not being able to sleep. I've suffered from that for years and have taken for the past, Lord, I don't know how many years I have taken trazodone, just a mild muscle relaxer
Yeah.
to be able to sleep. And I don't want to do that, and I just recently ran out and I'm like, I'm just going to try to see, try to wean myself off of that, which I've been wanting to do forever. And I wanted to see, if, because I've been on the cell defender since the end of December, the very end of December.
Mhm.
And so I was able to, it took a while, but I did go to sleep the last 2 nights without taking anything, without taking a pill. But it still took some time. I've never been able to shut my mind off since I was young,
So,
actually.
one of the most important things when I talk to people about detox, it is 100% about calming down the liver. Imagine when you take detoxifying foods, they go and they trigger the cells that are bad to die off. And when those cells die off, they dump the toxins back into the bloodstream where they go to the liver. And the liver has to now re-sequester those metals or go through a lot of effort while it's still running your body 2 quarts a minute, cleaning, changing all the protein. It has to do all this work. So you're putting a burden on your body when you detox. This is why 10, 15 years ago, you would only detox for a week or so, and then you take 3 weeks off, and then you detox again. Now people are detoxing nonstop, month after month after month, and it wears down your liver. Then your liver is behind on all its work. It starts producing more cortisol, which triggers all kinds of other hormone mechanisms in your body that makes you tired. It's telling the organs, don't go running, don't do anything because I'm exhausted. And then the adrenals pump up the adrenaline. And then they eventually run out. And you go to sleep and you wake up 8 hours later and you're just as tired as if you had no rest. And you didn't have rest because your liver is constantly trying to remove these toxins and restore them while you're eating detoxifying foods, pushing them back in the bloodstream. So by removing them with cell defender before they get to the liver from the blood and the lymphatic system, the liver gets rid of the cell defender and pushes it out full of toxins. There's less burden on the liver, and therefore everything else calms down. So slow down the detox and increase your cell defender so you're capturing all those toxins. Most important thing out of thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people I've talked to in the last 5 years is calming the liver down is the most important thing.
Okay. Does that hold true with the sleep apnea? I don't know. I
100%.
suspect.
The whole system,
Okay.
everything.
Yeah, I suspect that I have that. I've never been tested. My insurance won't pay to be tested, but I know that I do. I mean, I'm pretty sure I do. And so I know weight is a big cause of it, one thing. So I'm assuming that, like you said, it's just the whole system, liver being the biggest, I guess.
And one of the things, your liver's constantly triggering more fat production as the toxins keep rolling in. And if you're not on fiber, then your liver's trying to get it out through the bile is just recycling. So your cholesterol will be high and your blood sugar will be up and down, and you'll be constantly fighting this weight gain because your body's trying to build prisons for these metals, which is fat. So
Thank you.
get rid of the
Yes.
metals, and it may take months. I tell people 10 drops is the suggested amount. Nowhere, anywhere in writing is it less than 10 drops. 10 drops is the suggested amount twice a day for the bottle, or 4 times a day if you're in a detox, but only to detox for a period of time. If, of course, you only have a week or two left to live, then you're taking it hourly. So the key is to get it up to the higher dose is for a period of time, and then come back down, let your body calm down, stop all the other detox stuff for a time, let your body calm down. You'll feel much, much better. And your body will kick off the fat on its own.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I
Thank you,
have a
Doug.
question.
Tanya,
Hannah,
you have a question?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you talking
Hi.
to me,
Go
Christine?
ahead. She can go ahead.
no,
Tanya,
Hannah.
Marlene, you can mute. Tanya, your question is next.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to ask Doug about the in the balance formula. I don't know if you know anything about the collagen that's in there. I know I've taken collagen for years, and usually your dose is a pretty good size, measuring container each day. It's like, 2 or 3 tablespoons. So I'm just curious how we can get effect from just the capsules.
Yeah, well, that's a very good question. First off, this is not a typical collagen. ColorWise has tons of studies, years of studies showing it more effective because of its bioavailability, all the things that are added to it, like the D3, how much of that's added to make sure that you have that. Most people are deficient in D3. And so a huge amount is beneficial, especially in this form that's half water soluble and half oil soluble. The the collagen is really important in rebuilding the body.
Mhm.
And so instead of just getting sources, Rik found the very best, backed by studies, backed by time, and he trusts the people that are making it because he knows that they're not using the chemicals at the levels that they normally would be used. He knows the soils rotated. So many of the things he trusts with the sourcing of it. And so you get much more out of it because of the quality of it. So that has a major part to it also.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Doug.
You're welcome.
So we're going to take one more question. I think it was Hannah, and then I have a couple announcements for upcoming topics. Hannah, did you have a question?
I think it
No,
was Marlene.
Right. Jonesy had a
Jonesy
question.
had a question.
Oh,
Jonesy, did
Yeah,
you want to
first,
ask a question?
yeah, Doug, thank you for doing this. This is awesome stuff.
you're
Um,
welcome.
I, I had a distributor ask me just earlier today, since a woman's hormones go through all kinds of changes during pregnancy, is the new Plus Balance safe for that? And would it actually be good for a pregnant woman to take?
Yes, I would say absolutely would, because one of the most important things that the mother has to do for the child is clean the toxins out. So from conception, many of the dioxins, PFAS, and microplastics are being passed through from the mom and dad to the baby. And so those genetic or epigenetic factors make decisions for the health of the baby. The mother has a chance to clean them out of the baby by removing these toxins while they're in the bloodstream. Remember that the mother pees for the baby the entire period of gestation, right? So for 9 months, she's peeing out the toxins. So the increasing the liver's ability to transform these into water-soluble components and pee them out is a incredible opportunity for the mother to do things for the child that will be much more difficult when the child's born. So absolutely, cell defender for sure, the immunity for sure, especially imagine this. I want you guys to think about this. When Mercury, and Mercury's a +3 valence, but Mercury has like a +14 charge. And I know this because Mercury requires 14 times more water to be moved than does potassium. And potassium is a 1 charge. So if you looked at all the metals on this gradient, you have the very top is radioactive. Extremely high charge, has to do with the size and surface area. It's some physics there. As it has this huge charge, it requires more water, which is why people are dehydrated when they have more metals. If the metals are stored, it requires very little because they're stored in the fat, they're stored in the bone, they're stored wherever they're stored, mainly non-metabolic tissue. But when they're in the bloodstream and they're flowing around, they're tying up a lot of water. They're also displacing calcium and magnesium, potassium and sodium from the bloodstream. So imagine the electrolytic charge of the blood for, electrolyte purposes. Let's say it's a 500. So you only need so many metals in solution to capture that 500 charge. The problem is calcium and magnesium, and the ratio between the two is necessary for hormone production. Your body will not produce a hormone until there's calcium and magnesium available in the bloodstream at the right ratio. For transport of the hormone to where it's going, for use and absorption, calcium and magnesium is necessary in the right ratios. So when you have 10, 20, 30 atoms of mercury flowing through, I'm just using it as an example, and it's flowing through the bloodstream, it's displacing, meaning your body is kicking calcium and magnesium and potassium out through the urine because it's not necessary as an electrolyte. Then your body, if you make more hormones, like women make twice as many hormones as men, their body extracts calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus from the bones at a much higher rate. Who has more osteoporosis, men or women? Women, by far, 50% more. And that's because they demand making more hormones for the structure, for the processes of life than men do. And therefore, the number one thing you can do is remove the mercury and arsenic and cadmium from the bloodstream, reducing the electric charge. The body will then retain more calcium, magnesium, and potassium. And magnesium and potassium are the two lowest, a 1 and a 2 basically on the scale. They're being dumped because you have mercury, arsenic, and cadmium. When you bind up and remove that electric charge from those three large charge metals, your body then brings in between 12 and 15 more calcium, magnesium, or potassium for each one of those mercuries that are in the bloodstream. So it is a process of getting, Rik has a statement, cell defender in your bloodstream makes almost everything work better, makes nutrition uptake better. That's because of this magnesium calcium ratio. Sodium and potassium, the same way every cell uses sodium and potassium to bring things in and kick things out and to create an electric charge of 24 millivolts. And that is disrupted first and foremost through the electrolytes of the blood by mercury, lead, arsenic, cadmium, chromium, tin, bismuth, antimony. There's 23 of them, and each one of them has such a high charge that they're displacing multiples of the healthy metals that are necessary for life to work. By the way, anybody on bioidentical hormone replacement, if you still have the toxins in your bloodstream, you're depleting your bones and muscle tissue of calcium and magnesium at such a high rate. What is the number one issue with bioidentical? Osteoporosis. And so your body, what you want to do is remove the metals and toxins, bring the calcium, magnesium back up to normal levels, calm your liver, so the body will start to create more calcium, magnesium in the system. Your body then functions and you start producing testosterone again, or you start producing any one of these other hormones that are necessary and dependent on calcium and magnesium in the bloodstream.
All right, Doug, thank you so much. All right, I said that was the last question, but I see Sandra has one. So Sandra will give you an opportunity to ask the last question of the night and go for it, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Doug, this was truly superb. I heard things that I did not know at all. Please tell me, in addition to Cell Defender, what with Plus Relief is great for decreasing inflammation?
Immunity, Plus Relief, Cell Defender, the fiber. Again, everything's tied to the liver. Reduce the burden on the liver, reduce inflammation. Inflammation of your knees, your ankles, any of the joint areas. Guess where your body stores arsenic? Stores it in the cartilage, non-metabolic tissue. And so that causes inflammation. You know, you get all these other named diseases that are all tied to inflammation. Inflammation of the heart. Where do you think? Type in AFib and arsenic and read first 20 studies. People that lose more than 15 pounds, over 50-year-olds that lose more than 15 pounds of fat in a 6-week period of time, 100% of them end up with a lower active thyroid and or AFib, 6 months.
Wow.
It's tied to sequestration of arsenic in the electrolytic tissue. Because you lose the fat, your body has to store these metals somewhere. And our belief, everybody's belief, is that my body just got rid of all the metals because I took a nutrition supplement. I do caffeine enemas and my body got rid of all the toxins. Not so. Not so. The only way you're going to get rid of them is Cell Defender or chelation therapy, and chelation therapy is harmful. And by the way, how many foods now have EDTA, the product that's used for chelation therapy, that's grabbing calcium and magnesium out of your bloodstream and taking it out the back end? There are foods, multiple foods with EDTA, small portions of it, that they're sequestering your calcium and magnesium and leaving the body.
Wow.
It's in our foods. It's estrogen building. I mean, the foods aren't even safe to consume anymore if you're not on 10 drops 8 times a day of Cell Defender. Really, you got to be taking this product if you want to slow the rate at which your body's aging. I mean, it really is. Rik, I tell people, Rik, that the miracle happens when Rik makes the product. It's just science when it works in your body. The miracle is how Rik makes it, the size, the shape, the activation, that just even the size of the potassium and calcium that's in, or calcium and magnesium that's in the zeolite when it enters your body for its cation exchange process.
I have a
The
question.
size of that has everything to do with the electric charge across the surface area. He's absolutely brilliant. He's 10 brains in a row.
Thank you, Doug. Chip, do you want to go ahead and comment and close? I have a couple announcements. If you want to go ahead, Chip. I know you like to jump. Where are you? I don't see you.
I think I'm here.
He's there.
Thank you, Doug.
Hi,
Thank you,
everybody.
Doug. Oh my goodness.
You're welcome.
Let's
Well,
give Doug
yeah,
a round
I
of
wanted to say
applause
the
for
same.
sure.
So
Oh.
you bet. So the areas of the country that were flourishing, Doug went. Areas of the country that needed to flourish, Doug went. And so I think he's here with his people, and I think a lot of you got to see Doug in person. And so interesting thing about the freedom. What did he have on the other side, on the corporate side? He was reined in a little bit, right? Because it was a job. So if you truly value freedom, you want to be on our side, of Avini to be a distributor. There's no deal. You don't have to do anything when you're network marketing, nothing at all, until you say you will. Then you got to do it.
Thank you,
I think
Chip.
that's a pretty good little principle. I
Thank
did
you.
want to say one more thing for Katrina Vargo. Experiment with Plus Relief oral spray right when you sit on the edge of the bed and lay over. All those things with your liver being relaxed. The distributor group has stumbled across that product made for discomfort is an amazing insomnia product. Just sit on the edge of the bed, 5 sprays, lay over. I see several people bobbing their head yes. So I didn't want Katrina to leave without knowing that. Back to you, Christine.
All right, thank you, Chip. Actually, someone was kind enough to put that comment in the chat. So if you want to look at the chat, 5 sprays in your mouth and then rubbing it on your belly button. So there's some good comments there tonight. This has been amazing. Thank you. I just want to thank Doug so much and all of you for being here tonight. It was a wonderful call. It just keeps getting better and better and better as we grow and we share, we learn from one another. But Doug, you're a blessing. Thanks for being here. And then I want to let you know next week we have, and I'm trying to get better too of getting these calls organized with Carol and our guests. So next week we're going to be blessed with women's hormone health and environmental medicine with Dr. Kara Cruz. She was on tonight shortly, but she'll be our guest speaker next week. We're always blessed to have Dr. Nikita with us. We gave her the night off. And let's see, April topics, we're going to be discussing business compliance, but building compliance business for a sustainable business. That's what's important, right? We love that word, sustainability. Your business, something you can leave in perpetuity for your family. That's why we're here tonight. We can help people live a long, happy life. And also May topics, fertility, nurses, and helping more people in that area. And thank you, Priscilla, because Priscilla's helped me gather up testimonials and guests. So listen, everyone, have a wonderful night. You're all beautiful people. Great to see you tonight. And again, Doug, thank you. Thank each of you. God bless.
Good
And go out-
night. Good night,
go out there.
everyone.
Thank you, Doug.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Everybody.
Yeah, thank you. It's
Incredible.
been real.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you, ladies, for the call.
Welcome.
Bye,
None of us
everyone.